handle the truth.
The Denise Simon Experience. The Truth Matrix. Vetting, exposing, drilling down to the truth.
Rolling Thunder, this is Hitman. See ya. Hitman, this is Rolling Thunder. See ya out.
The Denise Simon Experience. Exposing politics, lies, demagoguery, spin, fraud.
Grid to suppress. Mike Charlie, 4 tree 5, 9er 2-1. Grid to mark. Mike Charlie, 4-7 tree 9er, 8-9er. Out.
Promoting individual situational awareness. Question, probe, notice, ask why.
Mark smoke on the deck. 2 rounds AGPT. Gas TOT 5-3.
And now, the Denise Simon Experience.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Denise Simon Experience, heard worldwide on Mojo 50. If any of you get up early in the morning and watch Fox and Friends from time to time, you may have seen my next guest. I'm so thrilled that, there are people out there that just do remarkable work. And I got to tell you that Jason Van Camp, who is with us, is the author of the book, Deliberate Discomfort. And Jason you can get his book, all the normal places, but he's also got a website, mission60.com. I'm real excited to talk about this, especially in where we are today, because we're all having to, kind of deconnect from people. But with that, welcome, Mr. Jason.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be on the Denise Simon Experience. Thanks for having me.
All right. You have this thing that we believe in the power of human potential. I do too. And I believe that we've probably only tapped 10%, maybe even less of the human potential, while some probably haven't even tapped their potential at all because they haven't even tried. But with you and having been in special forces and a Green Beret, you got to test that human potential. Help me with that, because Jason, I think we're missing an awful lot of skill and talent and innovation and resources in people. Is that right?
I think people certainly have infinite ability to do good. And most of us just haven't tapped into that potential yet. We don't know what we have inside of us. And when guys like me join the military, you kind of find out about yourself. You develop self-awareness, and you find out where your limits are. You find out what your capabilities are. And once you kind of find out where your limits are, you ultimately, inevitably want to push those limits to see how much further you can push yourself, And what I've found is that it's only while we endure discomfort that we find solutions. So what I'm saying is discomfort is not a negative thing. It's a positive thing, right?
Yep.
And I would tell you that that's what we learn most of all in the military. It's learning how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm not just talking about just regular, just your military. I'm talking about Special Operations Forces. I'm talking about Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Delta Force guys, Rangers, Marines, and the elite of the elite. And those are the guys that I have on my team. And I'm just so proud of them. And that's really what drives me to success, is the people on my team.
What drove you to write the book, Deliberate Discomfort? Because, discomfort, I think in the civilian world, it kind of translates into necessity is the mother of invention, that you need something, so you go be resourceful and crafty and innovative. And I think from your standpoint, military and training and duty and deployments take it to another plateau. Is that about right?
Yeah, you got it, Denise. So I would say this. There's a gap in society, We live in a world where our society is embracing indignation and victimhood. We're teaching our children, to be offended at everything. And we call it the safe space generation. And that's not how we grow and learn and improve. We grow by stepping out of our safe spaces, facing our fears, having those conversations, starting that dialogue, and controlling what we can control. And the only thing that we really control is ourselves, not other people. And, my clients, they say to me all the time, Jason, I need you to motivate me. I need you to teach me all this stuff. And I say, I can't do that. I can only inspire you to motivate yourself, because I'm not going to be here 24/7. You need to find that fire inside of you to do the work. And if you're ready to be inspired, then Deliberate Discomfort, our book, and this deliberate discomfort mindset is ready for you. It's like I said earlier, people don't understand. Discomfort is not negative, it's positive. It's a growth mindset. And what we're trying to start at my company, Mission 60, is a deliberate discomfort revolution.
Are people lazy?
Some people are. We don't,
because they don't want to get out of their safe space. And you're telling them to get out of some safe space, aren't you?
We're telling people this. The way to success is to get out of your safe space. Now, I can't force you to do that. That would be counterproductive. What I can do is try to inspire you to motivate yourself to get out of that safe space, right? And when you're ready, when you have that thought, when you're saying, I want to live a life of purpose. I want to do more. I want to be more. That's when I get excited. It's because nothing makes me happier than seeing someone take our content and execute on it, because I know it to be true. And I love it when it finally clicks in somebody's head. I'm sick of losing. I won't tolerate it anymore. I'm sick of being broke. I'm sick of being out of shape. I'm sick of this toxic relationship. I'm going to do something about it. And in that moment, you commit to change, and it's real. And you confront whatever it is that you're afraid of. And of course, it's uncomfortable to start, but you decide to step out of your safe space, out of your comfort zone, and start whatever it is that you want to start and face your fears. And that's what our book is about, Deliberate Discomfort. And that's what our curriculum is about. And that's what I believe in.
Jason, I've often heard that in order for people to change, they have to hit rock bottom. But rock bottom for one person is a very different place than rock bottom for another. And then I would say that there are necessarily levels to rock bottom. I guess your message here is, why are you letting yourself even get to rock bottom? Is that about right?
That's a great comment. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What is rock bottom for somebody isn't rock bottom for another person, And I would tell you this, the people that do hit rock bottom and bounce up from that, they use that journey, they use that as fuel to propel them to new heights. For things that have happened to you in your past, in your childhood, that have really disturbed you and kind of made you into the person you are, that burning fire, that fuel you've used to be successful in life. You very rarely see somebody who's successful that doesn't have a story about overcoming adversity, about saying, hey, listen, I was broke. I lost my business. I lost my family. My parents got divorced and they left me and I was orphaned, whatever it might be. Most of all the major success stories that you'll hear have some sort of beginning, some sort of catalyst with that. And I say it's because they've used that. Propel them as fuel to reach success, and other people use that fuel to light it on fire and burn themselves down, and they don't bounce up from that, and they just rise in self-pity and loathing. And instead of doing that, what I'm saying is use that as fuel.
It's you use some very interesting words here, and one is performance. And I gotta believe, as productive and resilient as Americans generally are, we still are not tapping each individual's skills because they're not tapping them themselves, to the detriment of, I would say, the thriving of this country. Can you argue with that?
You know why? It's because it's hard, and people don't like to do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
If you look around and you look at the one percenters, where all of our wealth resides, they've, for the most part, unless they've been trust fund babies, they've accepted difficult times. They've accepted doing the hard things to get to where they are. You know, and yeah, you can argue luck and things broke their way and connections and network and things like that. Absolutely. But regardless of all the things that you can argue, they all did difficult things.
For you, Jason, did you learn some of these lessons prior to West Point military service, or was it because of military service?
You know, I am not the person that I am because of West Point or military service. All that was developed before I got there, before I did those things. However, those experiences refined who I already was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's different for everybody, but that's what I can tell you, is I always knew I was a hard worker, but I didn't know how hard I could work until I got to West Point. And then when I went to Ranger School, I didn't know how much harder I could work. And then when I went to the Q course, I didn't know how much harder I could push myself. You know, and then I went to combat, and it was a different type of hardship and difficulty. So all that is learned through experience. And that's what the key is. It's about gaining strength, learning, improving through experience. And the only way you can gain experience is by challenging yourself, stepping out of your safe space, your comfort zone, putting yourself out there, facing your fears, and doing something. I mean, very rarely can you accomplish all of that while you're inside, not interacting socially with people, and just keeping to yourself.
What you have written in your book, Deliberate Discomfort, what you learned in, at West Point, what you learned in the military, do you think, Jason, that there really ought to be a course at the elementary level, the middle school and high school level, and even at the college level, that everybody needs to take every 4 years that imparts what you're really trying to teach us in your book?
Oh, that would be fantastic, Denise. You know, I'd love to have some sort of instruction at every college, university in America. That would be fantastic. You know, a lot of countries implement mandatory military service, and I think that's a benefit to everyone there in that country. However, I don't think that would really go over well or work in the United States, so I'm not pushing for that. But if there was a politician that wanted to do that, I would listen to his plan. But I think we need to start at a young age, and I think it needs to happen online for these kids. They're glued to their computers and cell phones and all that, and that's where they digest information, So if we were able to kind of inspire them to motivate themselves, not force them, it has to be voluntarily done, but inspire them to motivate themselves to be successful by stepping out of their safe space, confronting their fears, I think that would be incredibly, incredibly beneficial for our society.
Well, I think what I'm asking you is I think you need to plant the seed. So some people don't know that they need that inspiration. So if Jason Van Camp can, plant the seed in some kind of a syllabus in private school or scouting or, any of these kind of opportunities or avenues, then it almost seems to me that it becomes a mobilization of more human connection and more opportunity of growth, of dealing with things that hold people back, self-improvement, leadership. I mean, it's kind of like we would be creating civilian warriors. Is there some kind of value to what I just said?
Oh yeah, you're inspiring me, Denise.
Oh, yay!
There you go. I love it. I like to call this, everything you just said, I like to kind of pull it all together in something that I nicknamed the deliberate discomfort revolution. And we're going to start doing some online training on LinkedIn. We're going to offer some webinars for folks. It doesn't matter, young kids, C-suite level executives, anybody that wants to find value in deliberate discomfort, especially now with the coronavirus going on, where people are saying, what do I do next? My business is going to be shut for the next 6 weeks, potentially 12 weeks. I'm losing money. How do I survive? What is the next pivot that I should make in this ever-changing, economy and this new normal? Because I'll tell you what, this coronavirus, it's going to change society.
Yes.
It really is. Things are going to drastically change. And I'll give you an example. I have a client where I live here in Utah, and we were going to do some really intense leadership training with them for the entire year. And that contract is on hold. And I had a discussion with their executives 2 weeks ago, or I guess a week and a half ago, and they said, we're sending all of our employees home for the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to work from home, remote. I'm not sure how to do the remote leadership, but we're going to try it. And they said, what do you think, Jason? And I said, you know what? This kind of reminds me of what went down in World War I, where all the men worked, women did not work.
Mm-hmm.
And then the men went to combat. And the jobs needed to be done, so women stepped up and they did the work. The men got back from combat, and they realized their jobs were no longer there. Women could do work just as well as men can.
Mm-hmm.
It changed society forever. Right? That's the same thing that you're going to find with this coronavirus. After 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, you're going to realize as a company, hey, you know what? We didn't skip a beat. We made just as much money as we did working remotely as we did 2 months ago working at the office.
I
So
just had that. I just had that very conversation with my younger son, who, by the way, is 35. But I just had that very conversation with him. He happens to be in the hospitality business. So yes, you're right. What you're saying here is create some action items. Get out of the safe space, right?
Do something. Create action items, right? You said it. You hit the nail on the head. And back to that company I'm helping out, they're talking about this is just going to change everything. They're going to let everybody work from home from here on out. Businesses are going to say, why do we need office space? Why do we need people to come into work? We don't. Yes. Let's have everybody work remotely from here on out. All of a sudden, commercial real estate is going to drop significantly because people don't need these spaces, incredibly expensive spaces. Now, what do? What's the next step? What does the society look like? What does a new normal look like? And that's a question that we can answer. And we've thought about it. We've got experts, and we can help people understand what that looks like.
Doing things remotely, I think in a lot of industries, a lot of career paths and so forth, I think is brilliant. And I've said that certainly when it comes to education, because I think, obviously an awful lot of courses can be taken online. So you're learning remotely. Beyond that, I think there are some people that have a kind of a DNA in them that they have to be a kind of a touchy-feely type person with that personality that they have to see it for their own, in reality in front of their own eyes as opposed to watching a video. So there is some that this necessarily wouldn't work for, but you're not proposing that there are solutions, kind of a one size fits all for everybody, correct?
Correct. I absolutely 100% do not agree with a one size fits all approach. Everybody has unique challenges that require unique solutions, right? But there are some things, some foundational tips and advice that will help everyone, from the basic level. And that's where we come in. And if someone hires us, then we sit down and we have several conversations with all the major players, everybody involved, and we deliver a proposal and a solution that we believe will solve their problems.
Who needs to read your book, Deliberate Discomfort?
Well, I'll tell you, Deliberate Discomfort, we're so proud of it. It's already a best-selling book, #1 on Amazon right now. We've sold 16,000 copies. I'm going to actually see the numbers today. Hopefully that's a lot more in the last month.
Yay.
So you can pick up a copy on veteran-owned and operated 9-Line Apparel, where you can get a bundle, a limited edition T-shirt with the book, or you can go on Amazon. Now, I will say this about Amazon. We've sold out our books on Amazon 6 times. So they've been very late in delivering. Amazon is usually, next day delivery. They're known for that, but they've been very late in sending out the book. So I would recommend you go to 9-Line Apparel to get the book and T-shirt bundle. But if you want to go to Amazon, of course, go to Amazon and buy the book there. And then obviously wherever books are sold, you can pick up a copy. But this book, it's for everybody. Denise, this is for, like I said earlier, it's for people that want to live a life of purpose. They want to serve other people. They want to be selfish about being selfless. They want to achieve their potential. Mm-hmm. This book is for people that are in the military, that are not in the military, that want to learn about leadership from real leadership experts. We're talking Green Berets and Navy SEALs and Rangers and Marines and guys that are Medal of Honor recipients, guys that have been to combat, that know what real leadership looks like. And then we have PhDs, researchers, scientists on my team that translate those experiences into relatable and digestible action items and to answer the so what and the now what behind the lessons that the veteran is teaching you. And then from a business standpoint, I come back in and I explain, in the past 8 years of Mission 6.0, we've worked with numerous corporate clients, professional sports clients, and these are examples of how those clients have taken our lessons learned and applied them to their own businesses. So if you're trying to hit the gym, if you're trying to go on that diet, if you're trying to quit that job, if you're trying to get out of that relationship, if you need leadership in your life, if you need to be inspired, pick up Deliberate Discomfort, because that is the book for you.
Whew. A lot there. And it sounds like, you're reaching out to the individual regardless of age. And
Regardless of age.
Small business, regardless of gender, small corporations. So it's almost as though you're, firing up a spark here and you're just trying to say to people, get off your butt. Is that, I think I could say that on radio, but, get off your butt, right?
Mainly, I'm saying you should find a reason to get off your own butt. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you because I think there's a word that I really dislike, and it's diversity. But I'll apply it actually towards your book, because you are really saying to people, put some diversity into your own life and own life experiences, skill sets, potential, vision, achievement. And it can go anywhere. It can go from, learning to knit, be a dog breeder, or be a pilot, correct?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, right?
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause here to Jason Van Camp. The book is Deliberate Discomfort: How U.S. Special Operations Forces Overcome Fear, and I like this part, Dare to Win by Getting Comfortable Being Uncomfortable. Kind of sums it up. And, best wishes certainly on the book. It sounds like it's really taken off. Very happy for that. That kind of gives me some hope for the person standing next to us that have bought the book. So congratulations. Thanks for spending this time with us, Jason. Ladies and gentlemen, there's more coming your way in the Denise Simon Experience. So stay with us.